What is going on, Bills Mafia? Welcome to a new edition of Mafia Talk. It's your boy Julian J. Mafia, and I'm joined by none other than Tommy from Mafia Sports Report. Man, how we feeling tonight, man?
What is up, Jay? Man, I'm feeling good, man. Sunday, 1 week away from the Super Bowl, which should be our Buffalo Bills, but it isn't. It is what it is. Another year of heartbreak for Buffalo Bills fans, Bills Mafia. But we're diehard, man. We'll we'll get ready for 2024 all over again, man. But other than that, I'm doing all right, man.
You know, I always say win, lose, or tie, it's Bills Mafia till we die.
Damn real, damn real.
Let's go. But none other than, man, it's an honor to have you on the show, man. It's an honor to be part of the Mafia Sports Support casting and all that. But we here to make great content together. So it's an exclusive Mafia moments where I interview Tommy. We dive deep into how he became a Bills fan, his worst moments, his best moments, and we all know we won't dive into it. So let's start right there. How did you become Bills Mafia? How did you become a Bills fan? What got you into this?
So I'm from South Florida originally. So I stay in Detroit now. So I live in Detroit. But I grew up in South Florida and played sports my whole life. But I never really watched sports. I played basketball, football,
Right.
and my mom was dating this guy, Randy, at the time. He was watching the playoffs. And the Buffalo Bills were on, and they were playing the Browns. This is 1989. And it's the first time I ever really sat down and watched like sports of any kind. And I'm like, man, this team is really fun. Like, wow, like Jim Kelly, like I don't know, something about them, I don't know, something about them caught my attention, right? It was this fun offense, though we lost. All right. But you got to remember, I didn't have any stake in the team at the time. Yeah. So it wasn't like, heartbreak for me at that time. It was just more like, oh, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, went on with my day. But I was intrigued. Like, they really caught my eye. So the next year, it was 1990, I watched like religiously. Didn't that? I mean, as much as I can. By the way, I watched as much as I can because you got to remember in the 90s, for all you young folks that don't know, there wasn't streaming, there wasn't acts. If you live out of state, unless your team is on playing that team in that state, you're pretty much screwed in that city. So I only got to watch games that were either when the Buffalo made the playoffs or when we played the Miami Dolphins. So it was super rare or it was like a national televised game. So I watched what I could, but I used to always get the papers and just follow up with everything. So obviously watch the Super Bowl, and that was tough. Wide right, Scott Norwood. That was my first bit of heartbreak. That was the beginning, as they say, for me. And then we went back 3 straight years, so 4 straight years altogether, and each one was tough. But that's how I became a Bills fan, diehard, and I lived through Super Bowls. I lived through the drought, and now I'm living through McDermott years. So it's a whole other story. But yeah, man, that's how I became Bills fan. And it was, believe me, my whole family was Dolphin fans. They hated that I was a Bills fan. Now, fun fact, every Bills game I've ever gone to, we've won. So I'm undefeated going to Bills games. That includes the one I went in Buffalo in 2018, Josh's rookie year. I went when they played the Lions. So we sucked that year, but I really wanted to see Josh Allen, and I never been to Buffalo. So awesome experience. I only live, I would say about 4-hour drive from Detroit to Buffalo. So I would do it again, no doubt. But that's how I became a diehard Bills Mafia fan, man. And been rocking with the Bills since.
Nice, man. That's how you do
Yep.
it, man. We gotta get Tommy back in the stadium more often, man. Wherever the Bills Mafia go, that's where Tommy's
Yeah.
undefeated. Next year, let's get him in every single game if we can. But great story, man. Every Bills Mafia initiation. I mean, what was your initiation into Bills Mafia? You told us the story how you became a fan, but Was there initiation? Did you have to jump through a table?
No, no, because I'm not from Buffalo. So, like, you got to remember, from South Florida, they don't do that kind of stuff there. But
Right.
I will say, I kind of felt like it was just Buffalo like everything, like Buffalo. What do you call them? Buffalonians,
Yeah,
like
Buffalo.
like I love, right? Like blue cheese, right? Like even before I started watching the Buffalo Bills, like that was my go-to, and chicken wings, and they had to be the big Buffalo chicken wings. Like, but I can't stand ranch, so blue cheese was like my go-to, and this was way before it had anything to do with Buffalo Bills. So that was one thing, uh, you know, and of course pizza and pizza logs. Like I love that stuff. So, but no initiation for me. I think you know what, my initiation was making this channel in 2020.
There we go.
Because it took a lot of for a lot of people that don't know, like obviously a lot of people watch us, but they don't understand, like, well, they don't understand how, like, you got to have you got to have some guts, right,
Oh
to
yeah.
go on camera,
Uh,
because not everyone's gonna agree with you. You're speaking to who knows how many people are gonna watch or not watch. So it's like one of those things, man. So it took me about 2 years for me to really get the guts to
right.
do it, and it was bad for the first like year. I learned a lot, but yeah, I guess that was my kind of initiation to that. But no, man, I'm as diehard as you get, man. I don't need really initiate, and nobody's gonna tell me I'm not diehard. Like I always tell people too, like you know, I
There you go.
represent the
Oh,
sport.
there
You know
we
what I mean?
go. There we go. That's your initiation right there. When you got that, there we go. We don't got to question
Yeah.
anything further, man. You
Nah,
already
I ain't
know
got a
he's Bills
question.
Mafia till he die. So let's go. So let's
Yeah,
move on.
yeah.
I ain't gonna question you any further, man. You don't have to be from Buffalo to be Bills Mafia because you want
No,
Bills
you know what? By the way, I hate that because I've heard that before where people
Mafia.
say, "Oh, you're not even from there. Why don't you root for the low, you should only." Like, I don't believe in that, dude. Listen, man, I don't care where, like, Mikey's from California, my co-host. He was in the same way as me. He could have liked the 49ers, but he watched the Bills when he was younger, and that's a team that draw his attention. So, I don't believe in that. You have to be
Right.
from that state, that city to love that team, or my most hated team is the Dolphins. Now, a lot of Bills Mafia's most hated team is the Patriots, but it's not for me because I started watching so early on, and the rivalry was Bills Dolphins for many years in the 90s. Like that was it. Like it Trump put it this way, there was no rivalry for between the Bills and the Patriots. The reason why Bills Mafia hates the Patriots because they were so good and they
Exactly.
ruled the East, right? So that's the only reason people hate Tom Brady, hate the Patriots. And I mean, I guess I get it, but I don't look at it that way. I don't even hate them. Like, I respect what they did. I honestly do, man. I respect what Tom Brady did and all that, but I don't like the Dolphins because it was true hate. That was true hatred. Like, if you were in that time, Bills Dolphins was man, the fan base, we didn't get along. That the players didn't get along with each other. Like it was war, man. That was real war.
Right.
And I'm glad I lived there in South Florida while that was happening because it was great times for me as a Bills fan to just see him weep. You know what I mean? Like, because Dan Marino was their everything, and the Bills just crushed dreams of AFC teams in the early 90s because we prevented a lot of teams to go to the Super Bowl when we went 4 straight years. And that's what, another thing real quick. I know a lot of people are talking about the Chiefs getting back, sick of it. But I understand, like, you don't think like people were sick of the Bills in the 90s when we kept going back. Now, we weren't winning, but trust me when I tell you, I remember people hated the Bills back in the 90s. Like, oh my God, again, 1992. Oh my God, again, 90. Oh my God, 94. What's going on? Like, they started to hate that the Bills kept going. And then same with the Patriots when they won their Super Bowls. Sort of like the Chiefs. Like, everyone's like, oh God, Tom Brady again. So I respect that, man. I do, because I think they should respect us, even though we didn't win it. And I think that's something will never be done again. And I think even though we didn't win, I think that's something that we still should be proud of. I mean, that's a tough feat, man. I live in near Detroit. The Lions got to the NFC Championship game, and kudos to them. But it's hard just to get to the championship game, the NFC or AFC Championship game. Like, it's not given. Like, next year, they may not go back. They're a good team, but it's a rough road, man. So to get to 4 straight Super Bowls, man, is something else, man. So I lived through it all, man. Like I said, man. So yep.
And that's what I say to all the Bills haters. Like, yeah, we never won a Super Bowl, but who else is 4 times AFC champions? It's never been done.
Yeah.
It's a tough task. Yeah, we lost 4 Super Bowls, but we're also 4 times AFC champions in a row. So nobody's ever done it. Nobody even made 3. So let's at least tap our cap to that. But moving on.
And full of Hall of Famers, by the way.
Exactly.
Full of them. Okay.
No
so
bags,
yeah, exactly. So it is what it is, man. We're still looking for our one, but we'll get it, man. We'll get it. Hopefully. Pray to the football gods.
We're gonna do it one before we die. So moving on. What was your favorite Bills game you experienced as a Bills fan?
Okay. So my favorite of all time, of course, we'll have to go back in time, would be the Houston Oilers game, playoffs, which, by the way, it was the biggest comeback in NFL history that since the Minnesota has beaten that record. It took a long time for a team to beat the record. But, I'm the kind of guy, like, I go down with the sinking ship, man. It doesn't matter. Like, I will not get off the couch watching the game until it says 0, regardless of the situation. It is what it is. Win or lose, man, I have to watch till the end. So, Houston Oilers kicking our ass, man. And I remember my mom's boyfriend heckling me. Oh, you guys it's over. You guys suck. It's done. And he left. I don't know where he went. He went out for a while. And I stayed. I'm gonna I'm gonna watch this thing to the very end. And we came back and it was epic. And it was just the emotions. And I feel for bad for some. Bills Mafia left and they winded up letting him back in, I believe. But there was some that were on the road listening to it on the radio station and shit. Like, so, I didn't leave,
Him and a couple of buddies was actually at that game, and they left because it was.
You see,
they left on the way home. They heard on the radio how they was coming back, and they turned the car around. They tried to get back in. Like, no, man, you can't get back.
I heard eventually they did let some people in. That's what I heard, but I wasn't there. But obviously, yeah, dude, it felt so great. Like, it was just a unbelievable feeling. And mind you, with a backup quarterback, Frank Reich, it wasn't like Jim Kelly in there just catching fire. I guess I kind of see why some people left, because they were like, man, everything's stacked up against us. Like right now, a backup quarterback, we're getting our ass whipped. Nothing's going right. And man, it just turned around like that. And by the way, that Houston team was a really good team. Really, really good team. And that's what I'm talking about when I go back and say we prevented a lot of teams to go to the Super Bowl, a lot of AFC teams, because that Houston team probably would have went to the Super Bowl. They were a really good team. Warren Moon, Ernest Givens, like that was a really good football team. And it is what it is, man. Like we stopped them and we came back, and it was just it was unbelievable. So that was my favorite game, because I stuck through it. But there's been a lot. I'm not gonna lie. There's been so many unbelievable games that I remember, but that one probably is my best, because it was me. It meant so much, for the team, and they got back to Super Bowl. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So now we got to take a U-turn on this. Speaking about the best game you've watched, what is the worst game you watched as a Bills fan?
Oh man, worst game. 13 seconds.
Really?
Now, it would be the wide right, like very close, because obviously Super Bowl, right? Like, but it was my first year as like really diehard, like just, I really felt like we were going to go back and win it again. So it was upsetting, by the way, too. After all those 4 Super Bowls, like that was the one that we should have won. We were the better team. They had a backup quarterback. I think Hostetler was going that game, if I remember right. But I think we just overlooked them. It happens. But yeah, all the other Super Bowls, I think they were just better. They beat us. But yeah, that was the one. But the 13 seconds, because I was dialed in. I already had my channel going. I think I just met Mikey, so I was going solo for a little bit. I wasn't with Mike. Mikey wasn't a regular yet on the channel as a co-host. So, um, man, the emotions, Jay, of that game,
Yeah.
and my voice. I lost my voice, like a little bit, like I from screaming. Like I mean, like, and then the 13 seconds happened, and it was just like I just remember when Gabe Davis scored. And I was just like, dude, I was so happy, but I also knew, because I know there's time left on the clock. Like I just knew I couldn't. And I remember getting texts and I don't even reading them because I knew they were like from friends going, congratulations, you got. And I just couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't because if it's gonna go bad, it's gonna happen to the Bills. Like
Yeah.
it sucks saying that, but if like, and it's always true, man, no matter what, bro. Like even the like Hopkins catch in there, like when we play Arizona, like I'm just like, yeah, it's good. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to us because this is what it is. So, yeah, 13 seconds. That
Bring,
was
bring the
rough,
show
dude.
down and give me my emotions.
That
God,
was so rough. And then you got to remember, I go live
we could have
no
been
matter what.
successful as a
Yeah.
team and as an organization, but it's little games like that that hold us,
Oh,
that bring us back to the
dude.
narrative where
And Jay, I go live always after post game, win or lose. I mean, I'm probably one of the first first channels that go live. I
yeah,
mean, directly. I'm talking within minutes. And it was brutal. It was so brutal because you get a lot of haters, and it's not just like it's funny like doing this stuff. That people don't understand. Like, I'll be honest with you, when we lose to a team, and I'm sure this goes around for every content. Like, if someone is content creator for the Falcons or the Chiefs, the Broncos, like when you lose to a team, it's usually other fan bases that chime in more than the fan base that just won, that just beat you. So it's just odd like that, but they just love it, like a lot of trolls. So it is what it is, but that was tough, man. That was really brutal. And it was just like, and I remember saying, I think we did a second show and I had Mikey on. I think we did it on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And I questioned then Sean McDermott.
oh yeah,
And
my
I didn't question so much, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't question like at the time, like saying, because I remember saying, I'm not saying the Bill should like change coaches yet, because I wasn't on board yet with that. But I was saying, look, I do wonder because now we're in 2022. Right? So he's been coached since 2017. We'll give him the pass on 2017 and 2018 because 2017 wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs. I get it. 2018 was a rebuild. Josh Allen just being. I get it. 2019, if we're gonna be real, that was a fail. The defense totally flopped. The offense flopped. He said, fine. I'll still give it a pass. Josh Allen first playoff, fine. 2020. I mean, we got wrecked against the Chiefs, right? In the AFC Championship game.
yeah,
Okay, fine. Your first year going against Chiefs. Okay. And then boom, 2021, against the Chiefs again in the divisional round and the 13 seconds. And
complete.
then I said, okay, I want to know, because there's going to be talk of, do we trust the process anymore? And then I asked the question, next is going to be the locker room, right? Players talking. What's going on? Because I just remember 2021 and Stephon Diggs standing outside with the confetti and Sean McDermott. It was like I gave McDermott credit for that. I gave Diggs credit for like just soaking it in, saying,
Right.
okay, we'll be back, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, I love that. Like, I love that. Right. Stephon Diggs going to come back even stronger 2022. I was 2021. And that happened. And if you notice, it was a different ending, right? Like, It wasn't Stephon Diggs hanging out at the end. It wasn't really. It was really like, what do we got to do to beat this team? So I questioned then, like, I wonder if the players are going to start chirping a little bit within, inside, between each other. Like, if we're asking it, I'm sure the players are saying, do we trust the process anymore? So you see the results now in 2022 when we ended the 2022 season against the Bengals, how that went down, right?
Right.
Stephon Diggs off season, right? He has problems. That has to do with coaching, has nothing to do with Josh Allen, right? And then him, Stephon Diggs and Sean McDermott have beef already, right? They're clashing. He sends them home from minicamp. Then Sean McDermott comes out and says he wasn't even at minicamp, which he lied.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that relationship,
There's.
in my opinion, was getting rocky at the end of 2021, going into 2022. And I think Stephon Diggs, and it's probably not just him, it's just he's just the most outgoing, probably, or he just wears more emotions on his sleeve than maybe some other, Bills players. But you could tell at the end of 2022, even that season, he was like already just kind of, you saw it. So, here we are again, and that's where I'm going with this. And if you saw the recent stuff on Diggs' interview, it's just like, I mean, I don't know why. Once again, though, he's going to say what he got to say. He's not going anywhere unless somehow he eats the 30, which he's not. But the fact that he's saying he doesn't know if he'll be back in Buffalo is a really odd thing to say. Um, it's just odd. So I just really feel at this point, Sean McDermott, if he lost Stephon Diggs' confidence, it can't be just Stephon Diggs. It has to be other players
Okay.
that are also questioning him, questioning the coaches, the coaching staff, and the leadership, and that's Sean McDermott. And then you got guys that aren't going to be back, that are going to talk. Puna Ford is probably not a fan of Sean McDermott at
Yeah.
all. Signed the guy, made him inactive pretty much most of the season except for a few games. Free agents are not going to want to come play for a coach who's going to pretty much make you inactive like that. Like, I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
Some of the decision making, the people he decided to suit up and not suit up all year was weird. The fact that he didn't fire Ken Dorsey, 2 or 3 games earlier, I don't understand that when everybody was questioning it. It took him that long, almost cost us a playoff. So, like, there's so much things I think the Bills Mafia who still believe in Sean McDermott don't understand. Like, they feel, I really feel like Bills Mafia thinks we're talking about this season alone when it comes to Sean McDermott, and
Yeah.
that's not the case. Like, you gotta really stand back, look at the big picture, go, okay, what has he done good? Okay, he's done a lot good, right? He brought the team back from hell, right? We were the worst. We were drought years. Much respect. All right, I'll give him that. And where's my buddy? He left. So, anyways, I'm by myself. Much respect for Sean McDermott for doing that. Then, he got us to the playoffs. Then he got us the AFC East champions, right? We won 4 years in a row now. You have to give him credit for that. But you also can't ignore the things he's done wrong since he's been head coach, and he continues to do wrong. And it's brutal, and it's tough to watch a head coach continue to go through the same cycle every season. And I'm sure the players feel the same way, where it's the same results, where the defense is, um, you know, crashing at the wrong times, right? Letting the team down at the crucial moments of the game. And it's always the close games, right? It's always the games that mean the most, right? Where Sean McDermott crumbles, right? Uh, and you can't have a coach like that. You just can't. And I just feel like he still is going through those boneheaded um, decision making as a head coach. That's where I see Sean McDermott. And I'm still waiting on my buddy Jay to get back. I don't know what happened to Jay. Jay's camera's upside down. There's Jay. Jay's back. I think Jay had to attend to some stuff. That's all right. Let me see. He's trying to figure it out. I don't know what's going on with Jay. Don't worry. Jay will be back. And there's Jay. There is Jay. Jay is back.
My phone was actually dying, man. I had to run downstairs.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I was going on a Sean McDermott rant. And listen, nobody wants to hear it. I've talked about this rant over and over. How he crumbles in the big games, how pressure moments, games with a lot of pressure, he just tends to fold. And it's normally, if you go back, and all the playoff losses have been the defense that's let us down. Not only that, if you really want to dial it in on Sean McDermott, why I continue to say too that he's a defensive-minded head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And since 2017, when he was hired, he built a defense. And he continued to spend money on a defense that has let us down every single playoff year. Pretty much. I mean, I would say the 2022 loss to the Bengals was a team thing. I get that. The offense was terrible. The defense was just as bad. I'll go with that. But he still didn't help.
We were tapped out at that point.
Mentally, mentally, physically, I agree. But it doesn't matter. Like that's why I'm saying I think, like I did a video, matter of fact, that 2020, why you can't blame the Buffalo Bills for not going to Super Bowl in 2022, because I get it. Off season, like there was so much that happened. And I guess I could kind of give that pass, DeMar and Josh getting hurt and Yvonne, and like a lot happened there. So I kind of give the Bills a pass in 2022, but overall, like I said, though, he's a defensive-minded head coach who's built a defense, who's spent a lot of money on defense, who's traded away players, and the defense has let us down. And now we're in 2024 with no defense because a lot of them are free agents. Right. So all that money he spent on players, they are gone. Or all the draft picks he drafted are gone. Yeah. Trey White, I'm telling you guys, the best thing to do is cut Trey White, save money. Unless he's willing to take a pay cut, then bring him back. He's not going to be the same. I'm sorry. He wasn't the same last year. He was better than he was the year before when he came back from injury. But now you're talking about 2 season-ending injuries back to back. He's not going to be the same. You got Rasul Douglas now. You can get him an extension. You have Christian Benford, who's getting better. Listen, if Trey White's willing to take a pay cut, bring him back. If he's not, you got to cut him to save that money. So there's another guy, right? We got him in 2017. We traded down. That's how the Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes, right? Then the 2018 draft, we drafted finally our quarterback. Fine, thank you. But then 2019, right back to defense. 2020, back to defense. 2020, I think that we drafted back-to-back edge, right? Yeah. And Gregory Rousseau and Boogie Basham, who's not even on the team. Waste of a pick.
Josh that he needed besides Stephon Diggs and Kincaid.
Exactly. So when do we ever concentrate on offense except for when we traded for Stephon Diggs in 2020? Mm-hmm. We've never really addressed it. Like everything in the draft, except for Josh Allen, has been late round offensive players. Now, I'll give Bean credit for Gabe Davis because no matter what people feel about Gabe Davis, I think he was a 4th round draft pick. He actually worked out to be a 4th round draft pick. He put up decent numbers. Yeah. Not going to hate on that. But once again, 4th round. James Cook, 3rd round. 2nd round. Devin Singletary, 3rd round. Zach Moss, 3rd round.
Right.
Khalil Shakir, I think he was a 4th, 5th round. So every offensive player has been late round project players, or question mark, like, maybe we hit on them, maybe we don't. Justin Shorter, 6th round. Then even free agency. Look at free agency, right? Who did we really get that really moved the needle? Now, I will say this, John Brown, Cole Beasley in 2019, yes, thank you. But look what happened. Look what would happen from 2018 to 2019 when we got help for the offense. But though John Brown he only had a good year or two in him, right? He was already aging by then. Cole Beasley was already in the league a little while. He only had about 3 more years, where he could be productive. So once again, those guys are gone. And now we're right back to just Stephon Diggs and a bunch of guys that just don't contribute. So this past year, what do we do? 1-year contract, Trent Sherfield, doesn't work out.
Right.
Deontay Hardy, 2-year deal. He's probably going to get cut. Did not work out on offense. Did nothing on offense. So all the 1-year deal for Latavius Murray. So my point is they pay the defense. They paid Ed Oliver. They paid Jordan Poyer to come back. And I don't mind that. I'm not saying that's a bad sign. I'm just saying that they have never really focused on the offense, in my opinion. And the defense has let us down every single playoff run. Why not build up? Why not learn from the past and go, you know what? We're just going to have to score more points and get a high-powered offense instead of just saying, Josh, you be everything. And that's what it's been. Let's be real, guys. It's Josh. We need you to just do everything you can because we don't have enough surrounding cast for you. Think about this. This was the first off season in 2023 that we actually built an offensive line for Josh Allen. First time.
Yep.
And look how much better it was. The running game was better. Pass protection was better.
Yep.
Why couldn't we build that in 2022, 2021, 2020? Yeah. Like, they ignored it, right? 1-year deal. Old guy, this guy, re-sign this guy, John Fliashana, this guy. Let's draft by the way, draft a 3rd round in Cody Ford or 2nd round. Right. We could have had DK Metcalf. So, and that might be a little bit on Brandon Beane. You're not going to hit them all, but my point is, man, I felt like they addressed the offensive line way too late.
Yep.
And now the offense has been way too late. And now they're in a bind because now we have no money. And now we're going, I guess we're going to have our 10 draft picks to figure it out.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying to you, we need to do some cuts. Trey White, you have to free money up. We're not going to get Mike Evans, right? He's already come out and said he wants 20 to 30 million. Not going to happen.
Yep.
The only guy I think, Jay, honestly, man, that could be somewhat feasible and I think would really move the needle is Derrick Henry. And the reason why I say that is because running backs don't get paid a lot right now. We all know this. It's not like everyone's going to be, oh, Derrick Henry, no way we can afford him. You can, because he's not the number 1 running back on the free agency right now. I think he's like the 3rd or 4th best available. Running backs don't get paid a lot. It's not going to be a big market on Derrick Henry. It's probably going to be, he's going to get a 3-year deal somewhere. And it's not going to be crazy high amount like people think. I think it's going to be somewhat affordable. And I think the Bills could do it. And that would be a game changer. Then you got James Cook, Derrick Henry behind Josh Allen. That is a game changer. Right. That's how you move the needle on offense. Then you go to the draft, get yourself a receiver in the 1st round, get yourself another running back, maybe later rounds, late rounds, and then start building up again the defense. Because guess what? We have no defense now. Now you got to start building up defense tackle, edges, right? So I'm just saying, I really feel like having a defensive coach hurt us, especially because the defense never stepped up, right? We're not talking about a Baltimore Ravens team where they built a defense that won them a Super Bowl. Didn't need an offense.
Yeah.
But has this defense of ours ever been close to a Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers type of defense? No, it hasn't. It's never stepped up in any big moment. Any big moment. I'm telling you, it's never. Very rare. Even this season against garbagey teams, we let drive down the field. New England Patriots, 75 yards, touchdown. Unacceptable. Mac Jones. Are you kidding me? New York Giants. It was a pass interference. We got away with it.
Yeah.
They should have handed it off. Saquon, it would have been a touchdown. I'm telling you right now. Tampa Bay, the guy was looking. We lose that game. I mean, there's so many I could go back to. So that's, I know people are so sick of me talking about the Sean McDermott thing, but it just as a fan, it's Bills Mafia guys. It's so tough going into these years.
He is a great coach, but he has got us as far as he can take us.
I don't think he's great. I think he's good.
Yeah.
I think I respect him. Like that's what a lot of things people miss too. I respect him. I respect everything he's done for this team, but I don't think he's great, and I think he still makes the same mistakes over and over and over.
Yep.
And I think that the 13 seconds was his doing. I don't think it was Leslie Frazier. I totally think he took over play calling at that point. It was a fuck up right away because they didn't know if they were going to pooch kick it, squib kick it, or kick it out of bounds. It was a mix up right away. So it was a total disaster, and you can't have that as a head coach. You've been a head coach now for a while, and you're still making the same boneheaded dumb mistakes, bad timeouts, bad challenges. I just over and over. It's
Yeah.
like mind boggling. But like once again though, I give him his credit, and he's not going anywhere. So anyone that thinks he's going somewhere, he's not. I think he's going to be here when the Bills open up in 2026, the new stadium. I think he'll be your head coach no matter what happens between now and then.
Yeah.
Um, and it is what it is. I think right now, man, honestly, we gotta pray to the football gods that this offense under Joe Brady and the players that we draft or players, maybe we get through free agency work out, and maybe we catch a spark and this offense makes up for the defense. I mean, because it's we have no answer for like Chiefs. We have no answer for Bengals. That's the problem. And those are still very dominating, good teams that we will see in the playoffs again. That's the problem. Like Sean McDermott, listen, Sean McDermott is going to get you to the playoffs. He's going to get you an AFC East, but that's where it stops. He's reached his ceiling, unfortunately. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But yeah, I mean that's about where I see it. As far as Sean McDermott and
No, honestly, I agree with 100% everything you just said. That you can't even have said it even better than that because when it comes down to Sean McDermott, I mean, he's got this defense. I mean, I don't know another coach that could have got the defense prepared the way he got this defense prepared this year, especially with everybody being injured
yeah.
and you're down two play callers on the defense with Matt Milano and then Terrell Bernard in the playoffs. Then you got to pass it down to AJ Klein, somebody who just on his way to vacation and he's stepping up and trying to run your defense. And you got Trey White down and DeQuan Jones. He comes back when so in that respect, I tip my hat to Sean McDermott. Now he's able to maintain this team and defense in managing head coach and defensive coordinator. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, when it comes down to those big games, he always gets outcoached. When it comes down to 13 seconds, even we could go back to the Texas game, and I watched that a couple times. We dominated that game for the first three quarters. We
Right. Yep.
that fourth quarter, for some reason, we got soft. We shot ourselves in the foot. We were turning the ball over. We was getting penalty after penalty after penalty, killing drives, and we let them come back. And we just kind of lost the game at that. And then coaching couldn't reel it back in. And then the next year, what was it? The Chiefs game. We really couldn't do nothing against the Chiefs. I don't think we was ready. And then the following year, Chiefs again, 13 seconds, and it was just every time. Josh Allen beat Mahomes in that game. He
Yeah.
out
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Yeah. He did. A lot of
he
people don't
can't
realize
not
that.
play defense.
No, can't play.
So
Yeah, I agree.
so in that respect, I mean, whether it was Leslie Frazier or Sean McDermott, at the end of the day, you guys over celebrated when there was 13 seconds left on the clock, and y'all forgot who was on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. You had multiple chances, even before 13 seconds. And I'm going to tell this until the day I die, man. Before 13 seconds, it was even a thing. You guys played all out man. And you had Levi Wallace checking Tyreek Hill with his hips facing the outside, thinking Tyreek Hill's going to just run up the sideline and catch a ball. I don't know what. And then you have Levi Wallace playing press man. He doesn't press him. He just got outran. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, this is going to be a whole nother episode. And then the following year was the DeMar Hamlin and the Bengals. And then this year we just folded. We just could have capitalized on plays that we needed to capitalize, and we just couldn't make enough stops. So at the end of the day, it
Yeah.
comes down to coaching. You guys got to get your players in the best position to win, and unfortunately, they failed. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, this last game, I mean, there were some things I would go back to the Sean McDermott thing. Like, so you got the fake punt. So here's what drives me insane. Like with him, because he's aggressive when he shouldn't be, and he is conservative when he shouldn't be. Right. So, uh, he's aggressive when he shouldn't be, and conservative when he should be.
right.
So, at first we had the fake punt, and I remember the commentator saying, "Oh well, maybe it was because the Chiefs only had 10. They saw that, they quick changed it." And I'm like, maybe, yeah, even then, is
It
like,
sounds
whose
good.
decision? Well, right. So I'm thinking, live, I'm thinking, damn, whose decision was that? Still. So then we get a stop, we catch a break, the fumble. We go down,
Did nothing.
and on fourth down, we go for the field goal. Okay. In hindsight, I get it, right? But after the game, they asked him about the fake punt, and he said they practiced it all week, which, by the way, if you practice that all week, that
Yeah.
was terrible.
Right.
One. Two, if you practice it all week, DeMar Hamlin, of all people, he's the guy who has not seen the field, who hasn't played pretty much all year. Like, that didn't make any sense, too. Then the other thing that's really mind-boggling is he said, look, I went for it there because I knew we couldn't stop the Chiefs' offense. Okay, fair enough. But if he felt that way, why go for a field goal with still about a minute and 48 seconds left, knowing that all you're doing there is tying it? So even if Tyler Bass nails that field goal, you just said you can't stop the Chiefs offense. How the fuck do you the Chiefs would have went right down,
Yeah.
killed the clock, hit a field goal, and goodbye. So it would have been a heartbreak either way because of the time. So my question is, why would you go for it on your side of the field, but not go for it on fourth down when you know? Because worst case, you don't get it, you're still gonna have to play defense like you did on the missed field goal. So I didn't understand that. I really didn't in that thinking. And Tyler Bass wasn't really making field goals pregame. So
I don't understand that.
I don't get the
And
I don't.
but
Now, I will say this. I was a little mad at Josh on the third down. I didn't mind the second because I felt like he had him. If he didn't get bumped, that was a touchdown. But
right,
the
right.
third down, I know it's tough pass, the cross body over your body, short, whatever they call it, cross body throw. But he had it, and he's done that throw a million times. Like, it's not like Josh has never made that throw. He had two receivers wide open, and worst case, they pick up 6 out of the 8. I think it was 4th and 8 or 3rd and 8. They could have picked up at least 6 to 7. Now you're talking 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Then you can go, okay, it's either a manageable field goal in the center, or we say, fuck it, run Josh for 1 or 2 yards to pick up the first.
Right.
So that's on Josh, no doubt about it. He should have, instead of trying to go for a touchdown there again, he should have looked for an open receiver, which there was there. I think it was Shakir.
Yep.
So that I do put on Josh I do put that on Josh, but the fourth down, I think Sean McDermott made a mistake there. I really do. Tyler Bass on the right hash, he's not good. Anyways, it's not where he likes to kick, which is unbelievable, by the way. You paid a kicker that much money. He doesn't kick good on the right hash. I don't understand that.
My biggest question, even to that, is what was the point of releasing Leonard Fournette and signing Matt Hack? And after seeing what happened to Sam Martin in the play against the Steelers, you see anybody with seeing eyes can see that this man blew his hammy or whatever. He was not fit to play the following week.
Yeah,
why go out there a hassle and then put him on the back on the field? That made no sense. and pushing, making this man go on the back of the field like, oh, we're just gonna go in a shootout. We're not gonna punt. Obviously, gonna punt. Just they're gonna make a stop here and there. You need a healthy punter, and
Mm-hmm.
Dan Martin was not a healthy punter. He was better off just rolling out Matt Hack and then just leaving your hopes up to him to give you better field position when it comes down to the punt because Dan Martin
No,
cannot.
that was another.
It made no sense.
It made listen. I don't even care about releasing Murray like that. Whatever. Like, but for me, it's like I
But the
said it. I said it earlier in that week. I'm like, look, why don't you? Because I was all on board on a ride. I'm like, look, it's going to be a game where you need field position,
yeah,
and who gives a like? Everyone's like, oh, he hasn't played in any. I'm like, dude, this guy has been a punter all his life. You don't think he's gonna? Oh, because he hasn't played a season, he's gonna all of a sudden forget. By the way, Matt Hack that we signed, even if he only played one game
the
this
ball.
whole season. So what is the big moments? Get out. Like I didn't want to hear that. It's bullshit crap. Two, it wasn't like Matt Hack and Tyler Bass were like doing his ultimate great job on kicking. The week before, it got blocked. He missed one. So once again, if you're worried about that, well, it wasn't too good when we had Hack the week prior. Okay, fine. I mean, not Hack. Sam Martin. Then you get Hack. Fine. Okay, whatever. I'm thinking, why would you get Sam Martin game time decision, knowing that it could be risky?
Yep.
If you're leaning up to the very last moment, and look what he did out there. Terrible punts, useless, 35-yard forward. I mean, terrible. Bad field position right away on his punts. Like it's brutal. Like that's just another McDermott decision. That's just like same with going to London late. Like what?
I
What?
said it. Yeah.
What? Oh, I gotta. And we're gonna go on a science team. The science team. I'm like, dude, how about just go with what like most people do and leave early because
They should have took
you
the
have
next
to adjust.
after that Miami game. They should have took the next flight out of Buffalo straight to London because you guys
Absolutely.
knew that the Jaguars was already in London the week prior. Y'all,
Yes.
and y'all should have
I
took.
don't. I like, but it's common sense. If you ever flew out of the country, that your body and mind is not right for a couple days. Like it's just the way it is. And we had no practice, by the way, that week. We had like barely any practice. So it was like when we got there, we had a walkthrough. We couldn't. The players couldn't even go to sleep
They said
because they had to stay up.
over 4 hours going into that game.
Yeah. So it's like that's a McDermott thing. Like I said, just stupid. And then trusting is. By the way, special teams coach who was a joke this year, who's going to remain on the team, trusting him and the special teams suck this year. It's just brutal, man. It's brutal. I really hope this offseason, like I think Sam Martin is becoming our old punter, which is Hawk.
Uh-huh.
It's starting to get just his age up there. It's not punting deep anymore. He's like a 40-yard punter in Buffalo. Late December, January, February, when winds are picking up, you got to have a better punter. I'm sorry. So I think if they're smart, I would hope for Ariza. I don't know if they will, but bring in another punter to compete. And then if Martin's no good or he gets beat, you cut him. You probably save some money because they just signed Martin last year, gave him an extension with Bass. So Bass ain't going anywhere, but Martin, I believe they can cut. So let's see what happens in the offseason. But I think they should bring a punter in to compete because Sam Martin had a rough go there.
No, yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. It got a little sketchy, but who knows at the end of the day what the team's going to end up doing. We're in the offseason now, so we'll see what moves this team makes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Transitioning, man, let's get back to you as a Bills fan. Give me a Mafia moment. Let's dive into story time. What is something crazy that you've done, something crazy you experienced, whether it was at a Bills game, a tailgate, at a bar, at your house, man, whether it was you, a buddy, some random guy you seen. Just give us a Mafia moment, man. Let's get into story time.
Oh man, that's rough. That's tough, man. Because I watch listen, man. I am very Like I like to watch in peace in my house. Like I don't like. I feel like when people are around me, sometimes they like just the bad luck. You know, like like I don't know what it is with me, but I have this thing just like superstitious, right? So it's just like I like to be alone most of the time, so nothing's going on but me yelling, right? But I will say when I was a kid, you know, going to Dolphin games, I used to like go with my, because I was young, obviously. I go with my mom and her boyfriend. They would wear their Dolphins gear, and I go with my Buffalo Bills jacket, and I would have a dolphin like tied up on a rope by its neck, and I would just like not a real dolphin, obviously, like stuffed one, and I would just drag it the whole way from the car to the stadium, and just like Dolphin fans hated me, bro, but they knew they couldn't. I was a kid, so they couldn't do anything. They just talked trash, but it was great because we always won when I went. So that was fun, like being in Miami, dragging a dolphin, stuffed dolphin on a rope. That was fun. But yeah, no, I haven't really, nothing crazy because we got to remember I was in South Florida, so not a lot of Bill's Mafia that time really didn't even exist,
Right.
right? I mean, we still had obviously tailgating and stuff, but I don't think it was as rowdy as it is now.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I never got to really, even when I went in 2018 to Buffalo, it was like really bad weather that day. It was like rainy and dark. Like it just was like muddy, and it was just not a lot going on tailgating wise, believe it or not. And we weren't, obviously 2018, we weren't a good team. We were going against the Lions, so it wasn't like one of those big games where tailgating's packed. So I didn't really get to
Right.
experience it, believe it or not, when I was there. That part of, Bill's Mafia, but so I don't have any, honestly, I don't have anything like unbelievable
That's
story.
perfect though. That's perfect. I mean, it's story time and it's something that's special to you. So I just listening to what you just said, kind of I could picture me just going to any type of game and I see some little kid walking down with a little dolphin dragging the stick. Both sides. Even out if I was a Bills fan with you, I'm cheering to you like, okay, little kid, yeah, go ahead, man.
Right,
In the fin, man,
right.
push the fish. I'm rooting for you. And then as an opposing team, let's see if I see another little Dolphins kid dragging a little buff. I'm like, man, that little kid is an asshole, but
You got to give him respect, right? Yeah, no
he,
doubt.
he's within the sport. He knows what's going on. He's part of it. So it's nothing but good energy to that, man. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
But nonetheless, man, I definitely enjoyed our conversations, man. I didn't even realize we've been going on for this long, but
Yeah,
I plan.
yeah, we got to talking some Bills football, and obviously we went through we went down a different different lane there, but
We go down
uh
different rabbit holes, but we know all
different rabbit hole, yeah, man. But it is what it is, man. It was fun. Always fun, man.
absolutely. So one more time, tell the people how they can find you, how they can contact you, man, how to link in, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Right here on Mafia Sports Report. We're doing it good here, doing big things, man. Channel's growing
Sure.
pretty fast. And Tommy Talks Bills on Twitter. If you want to find me on Twitter. And yeah, man, during the regular season, we normally go live on, we got a show almost every day, to be honest with you. So Mondays, we go live usually at 9 p.m., but we're going to be taking that, we take that off until preseason. Friday Night Lights is at 8:30, and we're going to be back in 2 weeks on that one. And then we got Mafia Talk, which is Jay, because they're brand new to the channel. They're
So
part of the fam now. They're going to be doing probably every other week right now until things start cooking back up in the off season. So look for them on Wednesdays at 10. And then Tuesdays I got wrestling, Nuclear Heat Wave. They go live at 7:30. And then yeah, man, then I do videos here and there. So there's a lot going on this channel. Also, I got a new late night talk show I'm working on, which is going to be not really Bills related, but it's like a late night talk show. It's going to be news, sports, music, special guests. Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. So that's in the works. So probably a month or two away. And that's it.
let's go, man. Make sure you tune in, follow Tommy. Make sure you tuning into exclusive. Everybody else, me included, you can dive into. I know you guys were getting to UFC talk. You got the wrestling talk. You got your new late night talk show talk.
Yeah.
Where it's pretty much everything, music, news, everything you need to know. So Mafia Sports Report is the channel to tune into for all the latest media news. So please tune in, like, share, subscribe, and there you go, man. Anything else you need to say?
Nah, man, just let's get it in 2024, man. Let's get this let's get this Super Bowl. Because man, yeah, man, like I don't got too much time around here. Like, so I need one, man. I need one before I leave this world. So hopefully we get it done next year. I'm excited for the off season. You know, as far as the free agency, the draft, love the draft. By the way, it's here in Detroit. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try my best to go because I think it's free. I think it's outdoors, and I'm going to be streaming that live with Mikey. So I'm gonna try my best. Hopefully, the signal's good out there. So I will be live for the draft in Detroit for day one. So that should be pretty fun. So look for that as well. But yeah, man, can't wait, man. That's always fun. And then obviously mini camp and training camp, and then we're right back to preseason and. Before you know it, we're in week 1. So, let's just enjoy this off season. And that's it, guys. We'll get back to it and let's try to get Super Bowl next year.
There you have it, man. There you have it, man. Please tune in to Tommy, especially. You got a lot of great content coming in. Mafia Sports Report is Mafia Talk right here. Julie J Mafia. Big Tommy over here in the building. And as you know, go Bills.
Go Bills.
One job to get done today, man. Find a W. Play for each other. Love y'all. We don't say what you do.